Okay, just checking we are live and that all is working. Okay, so that seems to be... Let me just post that on the Facebook. 2 seconds. Right, so that's posted on the Facebook. Welcome back. This is the 17th season of this league, the Full Throttle Racing BTCC series. And it's just me today. We've got not really any idea where Sean is, so we've had to sort of last minute put it together so that I'll be streaming on this account. So the lobby just closed and had to reopen because of that, which is why we are slightly low in numbers. People will start joining back in. We have, well, that might be slightly delayed due to this technicality. I'm not too familiar with these names. I believe that this is a newcomer. I believe his name is James Hunt. Yes, that's really his name. That, I believe, is Phil Wilson, and we have someone else who, if you've ever watched our GT3 series from a while ago, you'll know him. Jay Hardy, Jay Track Addict. So, a couple new names. Hopefully I filled out great. There's your reigning champion, Chris Clements, with the number 1 in his car instead of his usual number 15. Let me just set up a little note on my phone for who uses what tyres in what race, because that will be an important thing to keep note of. There we go. So there is Volbrecht, nearly a champion last season, but Clements held on in the end around Monza. He'd been really closed down after that round at Dragon Trail, which seemed to massively favour the car he's now in, the BMW. As Piper is doing some weird things. It's just Adam Piper. There's former champion Ethan Graham warming his tyres up. And there's McIntosh, one who's always had the potential to put a championship fight together, but has only ever really done it in drips and drabs. His love affair with the wheel sometimes seems to hamper him, but back in his BMW of last season, and as you may have been able to pick out because of some of the liveries, this is the 1999 season, of course, won by Laurent Aiello in the Nissan Primera. That livery currently on our BMWs. So we shouldn't be too far away from qualifying. How many do we have in the lobby? There's 12 drivers. So either a couple aren't showing up, or they're just not come back in. Of course, Piper isn't in the room. It's hard to tell how many we really have, considering we basically had everyone in, and due to the issue of no Sean, I've had to go change out of my personal YouTube account onto this one, which closed the lobby for everyone, and now they've had to jump back in. So I'm just getting Discord notifications. We're starting to slowly see more cars out on track. There is Liam New in his Volvo liveried Mitsubishi. There's Volbrecht paired with Graham, the Ford liveried Mazda. Sharp with his Renault liveried Mitsubishi, a Vauxhall liveried Mazda. There's a few different ones. A Honda liveried Subaru. There's your Nissan BMW, which is Groot out on track to show off. No. Adam forgot his livery. What a fool. He's had only the 3 weeks to prepare. Of course, all these liveries, again, put together by Ash Sharp. Thankfully, his livery making skills is a bit better than his driving was there. Of course, an ever-present with the livery making for the series is Ash. They all look stunning as usual. As there is Piper. Oh, I forget, I am now the lobby host. It'll be down to me when quali starts. Let me... I am not Sean, I do not have a keyboard. So, no super fast typing, no replays. Unfortunately, that's why he is the main commentator. But you get the stream in all of its PS5 glory, which Sean now has, but... Of course, he's not here for some reason. So this should all look pretty crisp and nice to you. Fast lap so far. Edwards, who's just sitting at the final turn. There is the Primera liveried BMW that we mentioned earlier. Of course, the championship winning car of 1999. A car I'm very fond of, a Nissan Primera. My dad had one when I was a kid, so I've got a soft spot for them. Just checking I didn't miss a message. I was getting stuff up on my phone. Ready? Okay, let me check everyone is in before we go. And then we will start qualifying. So let me try and gather who is on the medium tyres. I think we've got Hunt. Oh. Qualifying for 5 minutes, as is the usual. Let me just work out. So we've got Graham, Schouler, Sharp. So I have that down as 5. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think that is good. So, qualifying for the first round of the season, who have we here? We've got Jay Hardy, first out on track, followed by Schouler and Hunt. So they will be looking for a tow. Of course, a very short track here, with pole probably around the mid to high 45s. So drivers can easily put in about 4 or 5 flying laps as Hunt has gone back to the pits. Has he gone to change tyres? I'll need to keep an eye on that. Ah, if he's putting super softs on, that's not allowed. Let me just update that. Let's see if he gets the message. Because if he does qualify on them when he's supposed to start on the mediums, that is usually a straight disqualification from the race. Sorry, I don't know why it goes into that camera. Hardy sets the first lap, 46.5, 46.7 for Schouler. New is next, 46.6, 46, we're all flying in, 46.7, 46.7. Shadow puts in a lap, Edwards puts in an uncompetitive lap. Welsh goes fastest, followed by Clements. McIntosh with a 46.4 puts himself third. So far it is reigning champion Clements on pole. Hunt seems to have gotten the message that you're not allowed to pit off the mediums onto the super softs. Okay, that's a mistake a lot have made. I guess it's It's one of those rules that I guess hasn't been explained, but also some interpret it as you can pit. Any faster lap's going to come in. New improves. Piper improves. Graham improves. Puts Graham up to 7th. Edwards improves. As he's having a fight. Oh, that's Clements having a fight with Sharp. Clements improved. McIntosh also improved, but stays 4th. So currently it is a BMW, Mitsubishi, BMW front 2 rows. Wilson puts in a 47.3. That's good enough for 11th place. Sharp just behind him on the medium tyres. There's not too much space for these drivers around this track. So yes, Edwards going to improve. He's nearly 9/10 up. This could be a 46.1. He could be fighting for pole, which, you know, he should be. He's a 2-time champion, I think. Possibly 3. Don't quote me on that. Sean knows all this stuff. Only 4th. He'll be looking to gain more. We've seen cars firmly in the 45s in practice. Oh, he's not going to gain doing that. There's more times flying. Clements goes very close. Piper up to 2nd. Clements has 1.5 tenths over his nearest rival. Piper almost getting a little slipstream there off of Hardy. His new is... Oh! Piper has bottled that one. He's going to have to wait for all the cars to go by. He's going to try and slot in between Welsh and his teammate. Almost gave in his teammate. Always hit the side of his teammate. Edwards up to 2nd. He's got time for 1, maybe 2 more laps if he's quick enough. More laps flying in. Sharp stays 12th. Hunt with a 47.1 in 11th place. I'll work out who's going to be first over the line. It's going to be Schouler and New. Or Schouler on the medium tyres, New not. It's always risky going for a toe off a driver on slower tyres. Might work out here though, because it's a short track. New improves, as Schouler does not. What about Edwards? Oh, pole! Can Clements respond? Oh, both into the 45.8s. Piper does not improve. McIntosh doesn't improve. Who else have we got coming through? I think Graham is going to be the last car to set a time. He sits in 8th place. Is that highest of the medium drivers? I think so. There's only him and 1 or 2 more cars to set a lap. I think the only car we are missing tonight is Ewan Lloyd. I think that is work related, unfortunately, as he would probably be a title contender. What's Graham do? Isn't it improvement? It is by 10th, but stays 8th place. And now we have a 30-second wait. Is that everyone done? No, Hardy is the last car to cross the line. And there we go. It is Edwards from Clements. And then New and Piper. It's time for the first race of the season. Season 17. It's Edwards from Clements, from New, Piper, Welsh, McIntosh, Hardy, Graham, Volbrecht, Schouler, Hunt, Sharp, and Wilson. Because I'm on a pad and not a keyboard like Sean, I will have to quickly blip out of the lobby. But we'll watch the start. The engine notes rise. Wait for the lights and they go. Who's going to make the better start? Looks like Clements has made quite a good start. And is he going to be able to go all the way around the outside of Edwards into turn 1? He is. He's swooped in front. Let me just do that. But Edwards is going to fight back around the outside of Druids. Not able to do that one. And now, oh, is he going to be under attack from New? Hardy has made his way up to 5th place. Ahead of Welsh, and it looks like McIntosh has had quite a poor start, down to 7th place. Volbrecht has passed his teammate Graham, and it now looks like Hunt has passed Graham. So not a good first lap for our former champion, and now Schouler is having a little look. Oh, the Mazda very sideways. Does that give Sharp a chance on Schouler? No, looks like they've all tucked into a line. This will probably be a fight for the whole race. The two red cars, Clements versus Edwards. Clements already going defensive, lap 2 of 19. Of course, they've got New and Piper there. Looking back from our reigning champion. He'll hope to, after finally doing it, go for a second title in a row. But can the Mazda... Oh, Clements has gone wide. Is that going to allow Edwards through? As Edwards is going to have the inside line, the shorter run down to T1. But the BMW's quicker in a straight line. But the inside line prevails for Edwards. Clements looked like he wanted to go for a bit of a switchback. Doesn't work. Piper is past New. So it looks like New got into the back of him there. There's Welsh, Hardy, McIntosh and Volbrecht all fighting there over 5th place. Of course, Volbrecht on the medium tyres. His teammate Graham has gotten back past Hunt. That was someone very sideways. Oh, it's Hunt's gone very sideways. Where has he ended up? Oh, he's somehow maintained the place. I suppose that's the joy of a 4-wheel drive. He's going to have dirty tyres. Can Schouler compromise? He's gone wide, and that's going to be a place for Schouler on his medium tyres. And now, will Edwards hold on? He had pole, lost it at the start to Clements in turn 1, but got back past him on lap 3. Currently holds fastest lap. But Clements has his teammate behind him in Piper. New trying to make a move, didn't quite have enough of a gap there. Still this fight going on back here, and Graham is slowly getting towards it. He's just out of the tow range of his teammate. And it looks like almost Volbrecht is falling back a little bit. Of course, the cars in front all on the super soft tyres. Welsh pulling away from Hardy, so it looks like McIntosh might be the one to try and make a move here. Not close enough for the AXR driver. Clements is still hanging on with Edwards. The BMW got the better front end and the better straight line speed, but the Mazda has incredible traction, which will fire it out of the corner at clearways, meaning the BMW can't do too much about it. That's certainly a good track for the Mazda. The most cars seem to be pretty good here. There's no outstanding poor car. Someone's fallen right to the back. That is Sharp. Is that a result of his lap 2, or did that happen later? Piper and New still pretty close. Piper not feeling the need to defend. New pulls out late, but it wasn't close enough. And yeah, the two Mondeos slightly being dropped from this battle, and in fact Welsh is pulling away from it as well. So it's just McIntosh trying to find a way past rookie Hardy. Clements setting purple sectors. If he has a tow, he could take the fastest lap, which is a bonus point. Of course, you get points for pole and fastest lap, 1 point for each. So Edwards will have gained 1 for pole, but if Clements can steal it back with the fastest lap time, which he does, although I'd imagine that is somewhat beatable. Oh, New, very ambitious late look there. McIntosh not putting too much of an effect onto Hardy here. Half a second between them. And in fact, Graham has gone past Volbrecht. Was that a coordinated team move? It almost looked like it from what we caught. Of course, Graham had a poor lap 1 and has caught back up, so they may have thought, alright, you can have a go. Go and get McIntosh and Hardy. New and Piper are still locked in horns over that final podium position. Looking backwards at the Volvo machine. New trying to harass the back of Piper's BMW. Oh, very close to the back of Piper's BMW. In fact, that might hurt New. He's going to end up out of the toe here, but it's a question of can he drag himself back into the toe. And in fact, Welsh is catching up on the pair of them, and he is almost bringing Hardy and McIntosh with him. Clements with another fastest lap, only by 3 thousandths over his previous effort. Edwards sitting a purple sector 1, but it's the final sector we'll probably lose out because Clements had a tow. Edwards doing some rallycross. I know the car's 4-wheel drive, but it's a little ambitious. New has dragged himself back into the tow. Welsh went wide, bringing himself back into play with Hardy and McIntosh. Oh, in fact, Hardy straight down the inside. Apologies, I almost said McIntosh. Hardy has moved himself up to 5th place. And in one attempt, Hardy has made a move. McIntosh has been sat behind Hardy for a while, but can he pass Welsh? He's going to be close. He's got a nose end on the inside here. But no, doesn't manage to make it happen. Only half a tenth back. But didn't quite manage to... Oh, as Edwards is doing some more rally crossing. These are two of the best to do it, going at it. And this is probably the closest Clements has been for a while. Edwards had dirty tyres. He's got the quicker car in a straight line. Edwards doesn't seem to defend. He seems confident that he can keep it, and he can, with reason. Of course, they both know it's round 1. They want to do well, as that was Piper and New going side by side in the background. Oh, that looked very close. Piper managed to keep his car just in front. New has the inside for Druids. This will be Piper's corner every day of the week. What about McIntosh and Welsh? It's very close. This is where the BMW will be better, but Welsh covers it off well. And he'll have the 4-wheel drive traction out of that corner, but McIntosh has a tow. So does Welsh. So McIntosh isn't in that difficult situation where they both have a tow and he can't do too much. As New is through on Piper. Although Piper is straight back down the inside. Up into Druids. Is he going to give him a bit of a hip and shoulder on the exit? No. They're still side by side. Piper making the sensible choice and backing out, going for the good run. He's got a good run, but he's going to be on the outside here. He's going to be very brave to try and hold it out. Which he doesn't. He makes New go in hot. And didn't really work for Piper there. But I'm sure that's not the end of these two's battle. McIntosh looks very close to Welsh. Is this his chance? Is he able to do the up and under? Welsh parks it on the apex. Nowhere for McIntosh to go. I know, McIntosh unable to find a way through so far. Not much changing at the back. It's quite spread out. And Edwards has taken the fastest lap back off of Clements. That's another point in his direction. But Clements has just over 6 laps to try and do something about it. But he's just fallen out of the toe of Edwards. These two, along with that train behind them, seem like the closest battles. Oh, as Hardy's gone a bit wide. Does that give a chance to Welsh? He looks like he's just going to be too far back. Piper almost flirting with losing the toe. The toe in these cars is about 7/10 of a second, and he's been playing around the 5/6 area. So up on his PB, that's what he needs. And again, McIntosh is close, but he must have had a poor exit because he was ever so slightly losing. Piper's going for it again, this time on the outside into Paddock Hill Bend. Goes for a switchback. He's going to have his nose in there. And he's the later of the late breakers. But New manages to put the front end back underneath. Piper getting a little bit of a squeeze on the exit there. But now it's Piper's inside. New gets even more of a squeeze. But he appears out in front. Now, whether there was contact or not, that could be deemed as going off track and gaining an advantage. But that would be down to the stewards. And either he's been passed or he's given it up. But now Hardy is coming through. So these two's bickering and squabbling has put them at risk of losing the podium places. Now Hardy is up the inside of Piper. Welsh is now past New. And look at the gap that Clements and Edwards have. Piper manages to keep himself in front of Welsh. Oh, and it looks like New might have had McIntosh off there. He'd done well so far on Andy Neat, but looked like he had McIntosh off there. Now Welsh is down the inside of Piper. It's getting messy with this lot. That just shows Piper has the mentality of I'll fight for myself and nothing else. It can lose you big in a race like this, because they've gone from a comfortable fight for 3rd and 4th to potentially they could finish anywhere down to 6th and 7th. And New is already down to 6th. He's looking at Welsh while Piper's looking at Hardy. New fires himself in there, finds a gap. But now Welsh is back around the outside. Piper's still going with Hardy. New is hit into Piper. New has left it off. Not enough. Piper is lost out big time. Now that one would definitely be New's fault in the stewards. He would have to give the place up to Piper. But he's not gonna. If you look, a 5-second penalty or so puts him between Graham and Volbrecht. Up front, Clements has actually pulled himself back into the tow, but is it too little too late? He is purple after the second sector. If he can stay in the tow, he has a chance of taking fastest lap off of Edwards. He hasn't kept the tow. Yeah, Piper will definitely feel aggrieved by that. New is just slammed into the side of him, sent Piper off. And New is just driven off like nothing's happened. He would probably argue there's now a car between them, but that doesn't really excuse it. Oh, another purple sector for Clements. It looks like he's not going to be close enough to try and take the tow back. McIntosh and Piper are going at it. And that just compiles more misery for New. There's cars between them. But it will be Lewis Edwards to win race 1 of the season, followed by Clements. And on his debut, it'll be Jay Hardy to stand on the 3rd step of the podium, followed by New, who's probably not in the best of books with that move. McIntosh in 5th, Piper 6th, Welsh 7th, Graham best of the mediums in 8th. Schouler has got in Volbrecht. Volbrecht takes 10th. Phil Wilson will take 11th place ahead of James Hunt, and then Ash Sharp, who's actually fought his way back to be very close after being nearly 6 seconds off. And there's your winner, pole and fastest lap for Edwards. Let me save the replay. Then I'll need to adjust the time of days. That is grid order. Hang on. It's been a while since I've hosted something. Grid based on previous race results and time of day. I'll bring up the race results and I will wait for the goal for the second race. So that was a pretty good race one to start off the season. And now I will check for medium tyres. So we have new Macintosh. We have Clements. I'm just writing these all down for Sean next week. Piper, New, Edwards, and Wilson. Is there anyone else? No. So we're gonna have both of the top two and a lot of the drivers towards the front, you know, Piper, New, Macintosh. That should leave us with two drivers to do the mediums in race 3. That should be Welsh and Hardy, I believe, based on what I have written down. It's also a fairly clean race. Obviously, New has probably got a bit of a cloud over him with the move on Piper at the end of race 1. In fact, what would say a 5-second penalty due to him? 16. That would put him behind Graham in 8th place. So it could be a very costly mistake. Because those two were fighting like cat and mouse over 3rd place, and then neither of them got it, and now one of them could have a penalty hanging over their heads. So who could win this race, starting on the Super Softs? Never discount Graham or Vollebrecht. Of course, you'll have Hardy, who will start 3rd starting on them. So he is also a decent shout. Of course, Graham will have quite a few medium runners to get through, but He's experienced at that. This is new for Hardy. And he's going to have 2 of them to get through. Schouler as well, he will be starting just behind Graham. He passed Volbrecht towards the end of the last race. So, a chance at maybe even a podium is possible. Let me... I need to do that. Just doing what I'm told, since, as I mentioned earlier, I'm now the lobby host. Because Ethan Graham is no longer the host of this series, it is Liam Newt. And, of course, Graham has his moments of lag. Newt has a PlayStation that likes to crash, so it was decided to be me. But here is your grid for the second race of the season. Again, Edwards from Clements, Hardy, Newt, McIntosh, Piper, Welsh, Graham, Schouler, Volbrecht, Wilson, Hunt, and Sharp. So who will get a good start this race? Can Clements get Edwards into turn 1 again? It doesn't look like such a good start for Clements this time. And then keep an eye out for Hardy. Oh, that looked weird. No, Clements must have had a very good second phase. New is straight through on Hardy. And that is not what Hardy would want. So I think he is at... Oh, and... Well... He finished off the second race by slamming into someone, and New has started the second race by killing Edwards. Schouler is now doing some rallycross. He was up into 4th. Looks like he's cost himself big with that one. But is Graham already up to 3rd? He must have avoided all of that chaos in the first lap. So he is probably going to be a strong favourite to win this race now. He's done what Volbrecht usually did last season, have a chaotic lap 1, but he avoids all of it. Not a good start to the second race for Newt. Another incident, Graham already going down the inside of Hardy. Not quite a full overlap. Hardy still has a nose in there. They're going to have to fight for it. A little bit of contact, but Graham gets it done. Oh, now Newt going on the grass and deciding to keep it lit. That has gone very wrong before in the past for Newt. Remember, he T-boned someone trying to keep it lit on the grass. Now Schouler trying to regain places, gets past Newt. He's got Welsh next on the super softs. So it seems that mistake for Schouler was a little bit costly, because now most of the cars ahead of him are those running the super softs. Where did Edwards fall down to? He's down to 9th. McIntosh also having a bad lap 1, maybe caught up in the chaos. But now Graham is already on the case of Clements. So could he go from 8th place to leading by the end of lap 3? How risky does he make it? He probably knows he's a good bit quicker than Hardy. But of course he'll want to pull away before the likes of Volbrecht and Schouler get through. He's gotten a good run out of clearways. Clements is just going to set on the inside. It's going to be hard for him to do anything. He might have to force Clements into braking late. But then that gives Hardy a gap to put his car into. Good move. Oh, and that's Sharp. Oh dear, he's clipped the gravel out of Paddock Hill. He'd had a good start up to 7th. But there's still time for him to recover. It's a good move from Hardy last lap. Very aggressive, but fair. Graham had to turn out of it, but he saw a gap and he went for it. He's got some enthusiasm for a rookie. Of course, not new to these leagues. Has raced in the old GT3 series before. And now both of them on Deos together, so Graham now has Volbrecht to try and compete with for the win. And Schouler is already onto the back of Welsh. Hardy had a thought about a move on Clements there. Clements had it covered. Hang on, stupid glitch. If I want to change camera, I can't without closing the closing spectate and going back in. Don't know if it's a me thing or just spectating on a pad thing, but oh, Graham has a look. It's so dangerous in that position. You have to be careful. He did well there. He has to be careful for a move like that you don't fire into the car in front. It was very close to Clements, but he's nailed it. And now Clements is just going to sit on the inside again. And now Graham knows that if he sits on the outside and tries to make Clements go deep, that he's just going to open a gap that Hardy is going to put himself into. Oh, and now it's all getting clustered up behind Clements. Normally cars don't lead this long on the medium tyres. Normally they're passed very quickly. Of course, Brands Hatch, not the easiest track to overtake on. Graham has a bit of a nose down the inside. It's gonna be tight. It's always hard to overtake through there. Oh, and it's gotten a bit messy. That looks like Volbrecht has taken off his own teammate. That's not going to go down well. They are teammates in a racing team, and of course teammates here. So I don't think that one will go down particularly well. It looked like Volbrecht got into the back of, I think it was either Welsh or Hardy, and fired him into Graham. Now it's Volbrecht leading Welsh from Schouler, who's just put a move on Hardy, so up to the podium for Schouler. Of course, everything I say about Instance is what it looked like. It might not be. But Graham probably not going to be too pleased about that. As I'm in a chaotic first half, the two Fords seeming to get together. New and Edwards coming together, so both of the first and second place were involved in incidents that they weren't really the cause of from race 1. Piper 8th, McIntosh still down in 10th, fighting with Hunt and Edwards. He's going to go down the inside of Edwards. Can he take 9th place? Of course, he's on the medium tyres, same as Edwards. But no can do. We might have to look out for Hunt here, who's got a bit of a nose around the outside, backs out of it. There's Sharp. Wilson has not had a good lap. 57, so he's throwing away some time somewhere. In fact, Welsh has taken the lead off of Volbrecht. So Leon Welsh leads as we're almost halfway through race 2. The end of this lap. It'll be basically halfway. There's Schouler ahead of Hardy. Graham has the chance to get himself back in. He's about 2 seconds off the pack. He has the purple lap. Last was a 46.1. These guys have been in the 47s, so to be honest, in one lap's time, if they keep up their respective pace, this looks like Graham might creep into the 45s this lap. But do these guys do faster times this time around? Yeah, a bit quicker, 46.7. So now Welsh instantly defends from Volbrecht. Volbrecht is going to go around the outside. Welsh has enough to deal with that one. Volbrecht has to think about Schouler now. Oh, and Volbrecht has a look. Welsh puts him right to the inside. Welsh still has a nose in there. I guess it's very good driving from Welsh. He's doing all the defending he needs to. Now Schouler is down the inside. He's got the toe off of Welsh. Welsh is holding the inside for defensive reasons, and that's going to help Schouler. Oh, and now Hardy gets into the back of Schouler. Volbrecht almost cutting turn 1. He was that far inside. And look, Graham is back in this. He's right on the back of his teammate, the one who it seemed caused his demise. And now we basically have 5 cars going for the lead Welsh from Schouler, from Hardy, from Volbrecht, from Graham. We're on lap 12 out of 19, so 8 more times round to go. Oh, and Volbrecht gets very sideways. Has he managed to avoid Graham? He has this time. Graham, if he's aware that it was probably Volbrecht that caused him to have a demise, he's probably thinking justice is restored. New, Clements, Piper, Edwards, McIntosh, and I think that is Hunt back there. Right, what can Schouler try and do? He's having a look at Welsh. We saw Graham try the same thing, but end up getting passed by Hardy. This is a good run for Schouler. He's going to be down the inside. Welsh breaks very late. Is it too late, though? Is he going to be able to hold on? Is Schouler going to be forced out? Is Hardy going to pass him? Yes. So, as with happened with Graham, and is Graham going to be able to pass Schouler? Graham and Schouler side by side here. As always, you have to put a lot of trust in the other driver to go sideways through there. And Graham has a nose down the inside of Schouler. It seems Schouler has got the toe, so Graham has to settle in behind. The BMW is a quicker car in a straight line as well. So any one of these people could win this race. And to be honest, even at this rate, if Volbrecht was penalised and got a 5-second penalty, it wouldn't do a lot, because he's 4.6 clear and will probably stay clear of New in 6th place, as they're on the medium tyres. So, who is your money on? We've got 5 that could potentially win this. Just looking at the YouTube chat, we had some support for Twan. Currently in 5th place. Had a 10th place finish in race 1. Of course, remember this is almost setting the grid for race 3 as well. It will be a reverse grid. Graham looks around the outside of Schouler. Not able to happen. So of course for these two, Welsh and Hardy, if it finished like this, they would start at the back on the slower tyres. Schouler got a bad exit at the bottom of the hill. That puts Graham through to 3rd. And how... Oh, Hardy made a mistake. That I was about to say, how hard does he want to push to try and take 1st or 2nd? Well, Hardy might have just presented him with a chance for 2nd. Can Schouler follow him through? Is Graham going to create a gap? No, but Graham gets a bit sideways. Did he have a nudge in the back, or was it just overspeed? And now Hardy and Schouler are going at it over the final podium place. Shadow has... Oh, something happened to New. He's down to 9th. Looks like he's just been... What on earth is going on here? I've been busy looking at the battle for the first 5 cars. Everyone else is battling for 6th place. McIntosh runs out wide. Piper is leading this from Hunt, from Clements. And it's just absolute chaos. McIntosh has fallen off of this with his mistake. Sharp is having a look on the inside of New and gets it done. Of course, again, if New is one of those ones penalised for his early move, it's not going to do much. He would go down to 12th. At worst. Because Wilson is... he's been lapped, unfortunately. So it's Welsh from Graham, from Hardy, from Schouler, from Volbrecht. So who can win here? Will it be Leon Welsh, who I believe has only had 1 win before, or former champion Ethan Graham? They've got 2 laps to go. Welsh has held on magnificently so far. And then who will take the final podium spot? Would it be Hardy? Would it be Schouler? Or would it be Volbrecht? Or could even one of these two fall off the podium if they fight hard enough? The way this track is, all the Welsh really needs to do is just set on the inside. The only real good overtaking place is turn 1 and 2. You can maybe have a look into clearways, or this turn if you're really brave. Graham's got a good run. Is he going to try it? Welsh does the right thing and sets on the inside. He's got one more lap to hold on. Graham has got a good run. How late does he want to go? Welsh just keeping it tight, parking it on the apex. Graham looks around the outside, but Graham has to realise Hardy is there and he might lose second place, which he has. How aggressive does Hardy go? He's not been feared of making a move. But now Hardy is Graham to contest with again. So this might just be the break that Leon needs. Who? Oh, it's everyone for second place. It's gonna be Schouler, it seems. So it's gonna be Leon Welsh who wins. Schouler takes second. Hardy third. Volbrecht fourth. Graham fifth in a crazy ending. Piper sixth. It's gonna be Sharp seventh. Who's gonna take eighth? It's gonna be New Just Hunt ninth. Clements 10th. Edwards 11th. McIntosh in 12th, and then Wilson, who was unfortunately lapped by the whole field. And finishes down in 13th place. So there is another for Leon Welsh, possibly only a second ever, up from 7th to win. What a result by that man. And let me just reverse grid, change event settings. Then I will leave you with the race results for a few minutes until we are ready to start for race 3. So it seems everyone is just discussing the race that happened. So it's alright, I was just messaging my dad on Facebook. Yeah, it seems that while we were watching the crazy fight at the front and occasionally checking in with that crazy midfield fight, it seems quite a few stewards-worthy things will have happened, so yeah, we should have Hardy and Welsh on so I will update that. Let me just count how many I've got. 13. It seems we were ready. I was just sorting out the tires. Yeah, start the race. So it is. Wilson will start on pole from McIntosh, Edwards, Clements, Hunt, New, Sharp, Piper, Graham, Volbrecht, Hardy, Schouler, and Welsh. So, who is favourite to win this race? You've got to look at, of course, Edwards and Clements are there. But on the first hand, we've got the start. Looks like Wilson has made a very poor start. It's like everyone got caught up behind him. He's already down to 7th, 8th. McIntosh straight into the lead, and it'll be Edwards versus Clements through turn 1. It looks like Edwards has held on. You've got Hunt flying in there. We don't want to see Liam New part 2 there. Hunt up to 2nd. Let me just quickly do this. I really hate having to do that. Yeah, only Hardy and Welsh on the medium tyres for this one, so the two that started towards the back. There's New, Piper, Sharp, Graham, and Volbrecht, and those two, hopefully they don't get as close in this race. I guess the main concern for Edwards now is he's got a car in between him and the race leader. He'll want to pass it pretty quickly. Because if he completes a whole season and doesn't steal a random kid's cat, yes, he actually did that, he stole a random kid's cat and has now kept it, he could actually get another title. Of course, Ewan Lloyd has already messed around. Oh, Edwards already goes for it. And with Lloyd messing around, that's one potential title contender out, and if Edwards misses around, that's two potential title contenders gone, and we have, maybe 6 title contenders. Clements is going to have a look at Hunt. Isn't able to pass there. Is there going to be an opening up into Druids? There might just be for Clements. Or else he's going to get the inside Piper, getting very close to the back of Newt. And now McIntosh versus Edwards. These two having that very tense race back at Laguna Seca a couple seasons ago, where it was roles reversed. It was McIntosh the quicker there, but couldn't get through. Graham has passed Sharp, got a car between himself and Volbrecht. Schauler's up to 10th after starting at the back, bar 1. There's Wilson, who started on pole at the back at the end of lap 3. There's New and Hunt. Piper gets into the back of New. That's probably just a bit of, these are my intentions after you took me out in race 1. Well, the Hunt does almost the same thing to Piper. That would be a push to pass. Now Edwards is quite close to McIntosh. Hunt starting to fall down. It looks like Piper and Graham. Oh, Graham went down the inside of Piper, and that's put Hunt off. So how late was the move from Graham? Because it seems to have hindered Hunt. He's gone from, I think it was 5th, all the way down to 10th place. Maybe a little over-aggressive from the Ford driver. McIntosh still holding on. Able to keep the Mazda at arm's length. Of course, the Mazda has the tow. McIntosh is doing what Welsh did, just sitting on the inside. If he does that, there's nothing that Edwards can do. Unless he gets super creative doing something like that. But not able to make it stick. You've got to have a pretty good grip advantage to be able to make that happen. Graham from Piper, from Sharp, from Schauler, who's gone under the radar so far, making his way up into 8th place. And with the way this race has gone, there could be enough chaos for him to benefit off of all this. .46.3 for McIntosh that time around. Same for the other two. Well, there was a Wespa Gravel, I think, potentially kicked up by New. Well, this is a decent gap for Edwards. He's pretty close this time. If he can stay close through clearways, the Mazda has the traction. I think he's going to have a good run. He's had the better line out. How close can he get before having to pull out with the tow? Yeah, McIntosh will just sit on the inside. New in a bit of a lonely world in 4th, actually taking the fastest lap of a 45.8. So they would have dropped Graham and Piper and Co. that previous lap. Now Edwards is trying every which way to try and get through McIntosh. McIntosh is defended well. Of course, Brands Indy, a very hard track to overtake. Of course, if you've got a big pace advantage, it's not too difficult, but here, two drivers that are very close in pace, very equal machinery. Again, Edwards tries the outside line. If he tries that one too many times, he might find Clements shoving his front bumper in there. It's very close for the top 4 now. Graham should catch pretty soon. Well, not as quick as I thought he would. There's New holding the fastest lap. And now it gets even harder for Edwards. Because he's got 2 cars that could dive into a gap if he tries a move and doesn't pull it off. McIntosh straight to the inside. He's having none of it. He knows the game. He knows where you can and cannot pass. And now is Clement's going to have a look. Unfortunately, we lose Hunt. Of course, having that very early on incident with, I think it was Piper and Graham. So Clements wants to show he's not hanging around. If Edwards can't make a move, he's going to do it. Because they've got a train of 6 cars now. You can see it's affected Edwards. He's normally on McIntosh's tail and pulling out of the toe here. McIntosh is comfy as. Again, Edwards looking down the inside. No avail. Oh, he's made McIntosh go deep. That's his chance, and it's gonna happen. Clements also gets through and potentially... Oh, as Graham fires in on New and sends him off. Oh, and New almost lost it, keeping his foot in. Oh, and joins right in front of Schouler. Maybe add an unsafe rejoin onto New's repertoire for this race. I feel like his name will be mentioned a bunch in the stewards. McIntosh has been passed by Graham. Of course, Clements was the big gainer out of that. Edwards forced the mistake out of McIntosh, but Clements took advantage and managed to pass both of them in one go. So the reigning champion up into first with 7.5 laps to go. Of course, it didn't take too long for Edwards to pass him in race 1, only to lap 3, when Clements passed him into turn 1 on race 1, much like he did in race 2. Which proved important because then Edwards got caught up in an incident where New just came flying in. In fact, New has dropped down to 8th, so he's probably lost out somewhere. Oh yeah, he went wide, didn't he? Fell behind Schouler with a questionably unsafe rejoin. Hardy doing okay in his first round, you know, in 9th on the medium tyres. Volbrecht has not made an impression on this race. We saw him, albeit through some very lucky lap 1s, starting towards the back and being in the top 3 by the end of the first lap, but it's lap 13 and he's not really gained anything. He's still in 10th. He might gain on Hardy, but that would be about it. Looks like Sharp might have had an error out of turn 1. New went past him. Oh, where did New go? Oh, it was New that made a mistake. I saw Sharp and New's names move. And not a great third race for New here. And then Volbrecht finally does get past Hardy. But now what about this fight for the lead? Graham, Edwards and Clements. Edwards, based on qualifying in race 1, probably the fastest of the 3 here. But can he find a way past Clements like he did in race 1? It's 2 very red cars fighting for the win. The Vauxhall versus the BMW. Of course, Clements probably more wise to it now after what happened in race 1. Sideways for Edwards. You can see Graham trying to find a way in. Edwards just sitting in the middle of the road. fact, it looks like it's Graham who's more likely to make a move than Edwards. Edwards flashing lights for some reason. Piper in 4th, the AXR duo setting in 5th and 6th, Sharp in 7th. Volbricht up to 8th after New crashed and he passed Hardy. Our race 2 winner Welsh in 10th, New in 11th, and Wilson in 12th, and we lost Hunt from the race. Are we going to see a late dive from Edwards here? He was pretty close but couldn't do anything. They've got 3 laps to go. He might have to defend from Graham here. Graham is close. I'm surprised he didn't defend there, because Graham was very, very close, although he's lost some time through Druids. So Edwards has a bit of a buffer. 2 Mazdas versus 2 BMWs, followed by 2 BMWs just out of the tow. They've got just a minute and a half to go, so about a normal lap time for a regular track. 2 laps of this track. Just 2 tenths between the leaders. This is where we're going to have to focus for the rest of the race. There's 4 cars going for the win. Could it be as messy as the end of race 2? Clements just needs to get a good exit out of clearways. Of course, that's where the Mazda is stronger. He just needs to get his line right, get his braking point and his throttle point right. Looks like Edwards was almost held up in the middle of the corner a little bit by Clements. He's safe from Graham. This is going to be his last time into turn 1. How much does he risk it? Not that much. Clements is just going to set on the inside. He's actually pulled away. How does Graham try it now? He's got to run. He does. He puts his car on the inside. He's going to have the overlap. Oh, and he does get it done. Edwards' hesitance has offered an opportunity for Graham. Piper just being a moron. But unless something dramatic happens in the final corner, it will be Chris Clements, our reigning champion, who will win the 3rd race of the day here at Brands Hatch, Indy. And he does win after a good race 1. Graham finishes 2nd, Edwards 3rd, Piper 4th, McIntosh 5th, Schouler 6th, Sharp in 7th, Volbricht a quiet race in 8th, Welsh 9th. It will be Hardy to come across in 10th, Wilson in 11th, and New in 12th. Deciding to cruise along at 50 for some reason. At half throttle, I don't know why he's doing that. Probably won't be looked well upon. So there you are for race 3. Obviously, 3 pretty crazy, but and there you go for the 3rd race of the day. Let me save the replay. And I have to give out a driver of the day. Do you know what? It's hard to say Clements or Edwards because they had poor race 2s. I think Edwards was crashed into by New and Clements potentially by Volbricht. For overall consistency, I'll give Ethan Graham the driver of the day for this race. So, thank you for watching. This has been the 1st round. Hopefully next week we'll have Sean back and it'll be the normal strategy with him lead com, me co-com. But thank you for watching and we will see you next week.